Hey, fatty. Are you confused about what diet you should do to try and lose weight? Get skinny. Get skinny. Are you scared of some of the diets? Because you see an extreme result that came out of that diet, now you're scared to do it? You seen a woman get extra skinny? Doing a diet that might have been zero fat and straight fruit? Or are you scared that if you cut meat out of your diet for a few days, you might lose muscle? Remember this, fatty. You're fat. You're fat. If you're in doubt, if you are absolutely in doubt about what you should do for a diet and all this bullshit, a good starting point, just eat potatoes for a few days, you fat pig. Cut everything. Everything. Eat potatoes for a few days and see what happens. You're not going to die. You can throw a little bit of intermittent fasting in there. Just eat potatoes until you figure out what you want to do. The fat is crazy low. Potatoes have insane satiation. We know a straight potato diet's going to cut weight off you like mad, especially if you're fat. And if you're fat, you don't need to worry about the protein. You're just trying to get skinny. You're trying to develop the skinny mindset is what you're trying to do. So that you're not afraid of all this bullshit. Oh, but if I get skinny, which once you embrace getting skinny, potentially actually getting skinny, then you're not going to be scared of all this shit like, what about my hormones? Don't I need fat for my hormones? You're fat. You're fat. What about all these female bodybuilders that lose their period at 10% body fat? You're fat. Okay, you're like 50% body fat, you idiot. What about these zero-fat vegans that lost muscle? Yeah, well, they weigh 100 pounds, and they were doing that low-fat, low-protein for a long time to even get to that state of low muscle mass. Remember, fatty, you're fat. What I'm trying to teach you guys is you need to look at the extremes. The extremes to truly see what the most effective potential diet is. If you see that a woman got down to 50 pounds eating fruit only, and you weigh like 200, do you think fruit only, if you could sustain it decently, maybe throwing starch in there, even cutting the meat right out, do you think that's going to be a bad thing for you fat pigs for 30 days, 40 days, 50 days in a row? Maybe throwing some lean meat in once in a while? Do you think it's going to be an issue? Because you're fat. Maybe you look at another extreme. Maybe you want to go more on the low-fat, higher protein side of things. So you go with a little more lean meat, a little lower carb, a little more vegetables. But then you see somebody that lost a little muscle before their bodybuilding show or something on that, but they were like 4% body fat. So, that's not you. You need to look at the fucking extremes. The most extreme body weight, lowest body weight I've ever personally seen, period, is going to be somebody that held on to that zero-fat fruit diet. Zero-fat fruit diet. The most insane body composition I've ever seen is going to be somebody that grinded out a lower carb, low fat, higher protein diet. Both low fat. Both of them are low fat. Those are the extremes. Juggling the carbs and the protein however you want, you knock the fat out of that diet. Now, if you want to run the fat to the floor and feel fuller than hell, Go straight potatoes for a few days. Do the potato diet for a few days, and maybe that potato diet will morph into something that looks like potato or starch-based with some lean meat, maybe not even every day, and then some fruit. So go extreme for a few days, and I would recommend going extreme on the high carb end, because that's going to be the most sustainable compared to cutting carbs right out and going with like lean ass chicken breast and broccoli. Potato diet has very high adherence, especially if you start throwing in, okay, maybe add in rice and some beans. Okay, that starch diet, you can hold on to that forever. Actually, it's not hard. That starch-based diet, without any animal protein, you can hold on to that for God knows how long. It's not hard. With some fruit in there, and then maybe you do get to a point where you're getting skinny as a rail. Okay, then the debate, where do we need some animal protein or not? You make the decision, because now you're skinny as a rail. It's not going to be an issue if you added it in. But as long as you're fat, you can get extremely aggressive with some of this shit. You can cut the fat right to nothing. You can cut the lean protein even. You can cut the animal protein right out if you want to bring the fat as low as you can get it. Now, there are some protein sources that are animal-based that are zero fat. You want to cut the fat to the floor. The skinniest people on the planet and the people that have ever gotten the most ripped on the planet with the most muscle always avoided fat like the plague. Because why? Number one reason. Fat is 9 calories a gram with no volume. Now, once you're skinny, and then you think that maybe your hormones are doing something a little weird, you're skinny. Play at that point. Then play. You gotta look at the extreme people. The most extreme people. The skinniest people. The people that have ever gotten the most ripped. The fat is gone. Start there, fatty. Okay? Eat like you're trying to get to 50-pound body weight. Eat like you're actually trying to compete in a bodybuilding show at 4% body fat. Change your mindset. That'll make you break these limiting beliefs. These fears of, oh, what if I lose my period and you're fatter than hell? Oh, what about my hormones and you're fatter than hell? Oh, what about hair loss and you're fatter than hell? You ain't losing any hair, you idiot. When you're fat, none of that shit's happening. Oh, what about muscle loss? And you haven't even built any muscle over and above your stock form. You're worried about that? Shit, on that starch-based diet. Okay, on that starch-based diet, eating potatoes and shit, you ain't losing any muscle anyway. Shit, you can build muscle on that. You need to chase the extremes. Look at the extremes. Okay, the extremes is going to be these people that got grossly lean or grossly skinny. And obviously the lean people with the better body composition, a little more muscle, they're also skinny. Okay, like a natural male that is really lean, if he's got good muscle on him, he is skinny. With clothes on, he looks skinny. With clothes off, he looks big. But you're fat. Look at the extremes, man. The potato diet is a good place to start because it's extreme, but it's not that extreme. The fruit diet's way more extreme. The potatoes, and you add in other starches and shit. Starch-based diet, knock the meat right out. Play. Don't be afraid of knocking the lean animal protein even right out. Just to bring the fat to zero. If you're not eating zero fat animal protein. Okay, just get rid of some shit. Try it for a week. 2 weeks. Potatoes, rice, oatmeal, berries, fruit. Mainly potatoes. Do that for 2 weeks, fat ass. Throw that into an intermittent fasting routine. The most extreme diet that I've seen with the highest adherence is going to be that crazy low-fat, high-starch diet. And then you add in the intermittent fasting. Do that for a bit and then relax it. Okay, you can always relax things. You can always go backwards. You can always gain weight back if you get too skinny, which you're not even close to that. You're not even there. Get real. You can always go back. The problem is you fat pigs scare yourselves out of these more extreme approaches that actually have excellent adherence. You scare yourselves out of doing them before you've even started. That's my whole get skinny theme. So you don't have any limiting beliefs. You're not scared of doing a potato diet because, oh, there's a vegan label on it. Or, there's not enough protein. Blah, 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 blah. Or it's too low in fat. And you're scared of your hormones tanking. Shut up. Look at the most extreme people and start there. Look at the most extreme. Look at the most extreme skinny people. Or people that got grossly lean. And take a look at what they eat. You can always go back and relax the routine, you fat ass pigs.